Hi, I'm Susan Patang. Welcome back to the Quiet Zone. Today's video lesson is about boosting your self-confidence and your self-esteem. So let's just start the screen share and get right to it. Okay, 6 ways to boost your self-confidence. So the first step is to identify negative core beliefs. And all that means is, what do you really think about yourself? Do you feel like a failure? Do you feel like you're not special? Do you feel like you're not too smart? Do you feel like you're not a good person, that you're a bad person? Write this down. We're going to deal with them in a minute, but it's important to get it written down, have it on a piece of paper in front of you, and you'll see why in a few minutes. Okay. The second step is to identify your values. And again, I want you to write this down. What kind of person do you want to be? Do you think it's important to be kind? Do you think it's important to be a hard worker, responsible, honest, creative, a good problem solver, willing to learn? What you do in life, your behavior, your attitudes, they should all reflect your value system. Now, if you haven't done this, if you have not ever sat down and actually defined your life values, take some time and do it now. And it might not be something that you can do in one sitting, really, but that's okay. It takes time. Think about it, consider it, Google examples of values. Look at what is out there. Think about what's important to you. Think about how behaviors of others make you feel and how your behavior makes you feel. So write down what kind of person you want to be. It's important to keep your behavior and your thought processes in line with those values. Because when your behavior doesn't match your belief system, the result is cognitive dissonance. And that's really just a fancy way of saying that you have conflict and stress going on in your subconscious mind. And we want to get rid of that. It'll make your life a lot easier and a lot less stressful and a lot happier. Number 3, and there's 2 parts to this. The first is to monitor your self-talk, what you're saying about you to you. So does your self-talk sound negative and hostile, like, oh, I'm so stupid and I'll never get anything right and I'm not going to be able to get the crap I want in life? Do you kiss your mother with that mouth? Would you say those things to a beloved friend or loved one in your family? Try saying things instead like, well, I made a mistake. Now I know not to do that again. And I'm smart enough to learn from my mistakes. I'm that much closer to where I want to be because now I've learned another lesson in life. Do you see the difference? Speak to yourself with the same voice, with the same kindness, encouragement, and love that you would show to a dear friend or a loved one. And the second part of this is to monitor your self-talk about what's going on in your life. What do you say about what's happening to you? You're waiting in a waiting room at the doctor's office, and do you say, I can't stand this, I'm pissed off, this is terrible, I hate this? Or if something makes you nervous or scared, do you say, oh my gosh, I'm so scared, I don't know how I can take any more of this, I don't know what to do? Okay, instead, create self-talk that sounds more like this. This might be uncomfortable, but I can handle it. I've been through things like this before. Everything turns out okay in the end. It always does. And I'm going to learn something from this. So create, again, that encouraging, kind, loving self-talk and try to find something positive about the situation that you're in, even if it's only that I'm strong enough to survive this. And that leads us now into affirmations. And a lot of people talk about affirmations, positive affirmations. Okay. Now, positive affirmations are really just self talk that's meant to teach something to your subconscious mind. Okay. But if you don't um, base these affirmations in real events, not just the stuff you want to happen, but real things that have happened, your subconscious mind is going to sabotage you. So this is where we're going to take apart those negative core beliefs that you wrote down in the first slide. And we are going to create situations where you win, okay? Where you can actually create an affirmation that combats that negative thought process, that negative core belief that you talked about. Okay, so let's look at this a little bit. We're going to create affirmations on the smallest of successes. It doesn't have to be big, huge honking things like I graduated college. It could just be I'm a smart person because I figured that problem out really quickly. I'm really considerate. Look how I took great care of my friend when she needed me. Do this as often as you can. Sometimes I base affirmations out of things like I managed to get out of the car without falling down because I'm a big klutz. Okay. So little tiny everyday things. Look what I was able to do. Good for me. Golfers clap, pat myself on the back. And I encourage you to do that as often as you can. Here's a little more about affirmations and talking about taking that list of negative core beliefs, look over that list of values and create the situations in which you contradict the negative core beliefs or demonstrate your values so that you can create an affirmation around that event that your subconscious cannot argue with. So, like we were saying, if you create an affirmation that says, I have a big, huge house and I make $1 million a year. Your subconscious is going to look at that and go, you think so? And you're going to end up on welfare. Okay. Maybe not that bad, but your subconscious is not going to allow that to happen because it doesn't believe it. Okay. So by creating small wins and basing your affirmations around those small wins, your subconscious can't argue with that. So here are some examples. So one of your negative core beliefs might be that you are not a kind and caring person, that you really, you're not living up to that standard. And that's something that you want to be in life. So hold the door open for somebody else, smile at a stranger. And every time you do that, you can say to yourself, see, I am a kind and considerate person. Look what I just did. All right. There's your affirmation. That is the kind of affirmation that is going to work. So if you want to be the kind of person who is creative, make sure you use your creativity to solve a problem or to make something that's beautiful or to do something that is different from what everybody else is doing. And you can say to yourself, excuse me, look how creative I am. Look what I just did. I am creative. I am good at this. Okay, this is important to me. And make sure that you give yourself those giant rounds of applause, pats on the back when you get something right, no matter how small. And another thing I want you to do, this is step number 5, to build your self-confidence and your self-esteem is to take care of yourself. What do you need? Do you need something as simple as food or rest or water or whatever that is, just to sit down for 5 minutes? Give it to yourself. You might want approval or validation that you did something good. Well, then give it to yourself. Don't wait for somebody else. Don't ask somebody else to give you approval. Give it to yourself. Use that as part of your affirmations. Look at that wonderful good thing that I just did. Okay. Schedule time into your week to do activities that you love. Okay. Whatever that might be. Put it in your calendar. Block that time out. Do not let anything interfere with it. When we're about to take off on a plane, the flight attendant reminds us to put on our oxygen mask before we help others. And that's because we can't help anyone if we're passing out because we don't have enough oxygen, right? And it's the same concept in life in general. So make sure you get your oxygen mask on before you help somebody else. Take care of yourself. Okay. Now, number 6, journaling. When we were kids, do you remember that the teacher used to have us write our spelling words 5 times each or 10 times each? There was a reason for that. It helps you remember. Okay. Writing, the actual physical act of writing reinforces information and creates neural pathways in our brains. So this is important to do. Get yourself a cheap marble notebook or a fancy writing journal, whatever you want to treat yourself to, and write down a few things every day that you love about you. Include those little wins that you made affirmations about. Write down how well you did with your makeup today. Write down, I had on the perfect outfit today. I did a great job doing my hair. I was kind to a stranger. I did a great job at work. I got my report in on time. My boss told me what a great job I'm doing. I'm really proud of myself. Write down in your journal your value systems. Write down all the wonderful things that you can think of about you. And if you can't think of anything for that day, and it doesn't have to be a book, I mean, 2 or 3 things every day, that's all. Take 5 minutes at the end of the day. You know what? Here, if you can't think of anything, write down that you're amazing because you survived another day, because it's true. Did you find this video helpful? There are so many other ways that you can build self-confidence. There are a lot of things that you can do, not just these few things, these few exercises. One way is to have the skills that you need to deal with anybody at any time. So if you take my power session that's called How to Handle Conflict Without Stress and Anxiety, you can do just that. You will have the best ways to communicate and be heard. You'll learn how to negotiate through conflict, how to diffuse criticism, and how to deflect nosy people like your nosy Aunt Rosie who wants to know when you're going to have another kid. We all have got one, right, in our families. So after just one 45-minute session, you'll be able to handle your mother-in-law without starting a family war. You'll be able to communicate with your partner without fighting, and you'll be able to take back some of the control in your life. All in under an hour, all for $97. So if you want to learn some more about this and you want to get in on that, and do it quick because there aren't going to be too many slots left. I only have so many during every week. Please get yours at www.thequietzonecoaching.com/services. You can go to the main page or you can go to the services page and get some information on how to learn how to deal with your boss every day without stress and anxiety. Until the next time, I hope you have a wonderful, amazing day. Talk to you soon.